It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Well, folks, it's a time when we're going to be getting ready to go out and vote for the primary election. And as I've said many, many times, year after year, folks, make sure you vote for people who are qualified. Most especially for those people who have already been in office. They made promises. Did they keep them? Okay. Well, today we have District Attorney Christine Holman, Schuylkill County District Attorney. Promises made, promises kept. So what I thought we would do before we talk with her on the set today, there are parts of the Sam Lesante Show that we did that I thought would give us a good background as to what she said she was going to do, and did she do them. So let's play these particular clips from the Sam Lesante Show.
Everything is important to me in Schuylkill County as far as making it a better place. One of the things that really gripes me is when some people say, oh, Schuylkill County's good enough, you know, what do you expect? It's Schuylkill County. To me, it's everything, and I hope that citizens of Schuylkill County will look to sharing that more and more. Since I took office in 2014, I've worked very closely with the Schuylkill County Drug Task Force. And the Schuylkill County Drug Task Force consists of 2 full-time detectives and also all law enforcement that wish to participate. I'm proud to report that since that time, we've had 9 big raids, drug busts, and with that, we've had over 200 arrests regarding the nasty drug of heroin. And I hope to continue building the task force and continuing with these drug raids to eliminate the drug dealers from Schuylkill County. Blight is a broken down building, dilapidated, causing really an area to look depressed. I believe it attracts crime.
Okay.
It affects people's quality of life. It affects their property values. No one wants to live next to a home that's got a roof caved in, that's got windows busted, that is infested with perhaps vermin. There's garbage all around. There's a stench. And I've been out in the field. I have visited many areas of blight. It's not the most attractive thing to do, but I do put my money where my mouth is. And if someone wants me to come on site, I do. So, all right, so what has happened with some of these properties? I have suggested and given instruction to code officers and also law enforcement that, look, A, B, C, or D can be accomplished in this manner to eradicate this property, either to, well, basically hold the property owner accountable for making the repairs and making the neighborhood better.
I know it's a tough call, but what would you advise, Christine, to those people that may be experiencing elderly abuse?
My first piece of advice would be to contact senior services locally, right here in the Pottsville area. Senior services is hands-on. They will take your information, it will be confidential, and they will have someone come and visit you or make arrangements for you to visit the center. And if you feel like your finances are being abused or you're being physically abused, certainly contact me again at the district attorney's office, the telephone number that I had supplied, and I will ask one of our detectives to come by or have you interviewed. With regard to a coroner's inquest, and just so the public knows, it's a product of the legislature. It's a law. There's a section devoted to coroner's inquest wherein if the coroner, Dr. Moylan, in this case in Schuylkill County, would make a request to have a coroner's inquest, the district attorney takes charge of the prosecution. It's very similar to a court proceeding, but the rules are a little more relaxed. So I would impanel a jury, and the jury is composed of 6 citizens of Schuylkill County. And in the 3 coroners inquest that I've done at Doc Moylan's request, I utilized jurors that had come into court to be selected for criminal cases. And the jurors that were not selected for those criminal cases, I then did a short voir dire. And I can say that the individuals that I had talked to were very interested and very cooperative. I didn't have to coax them into volunteering to be on a coroner's inquest panel. The 6 jurors reported to the Simon Kramer Institute, and I will say that I think it is very advantageous and prudent for Doc Moylan to be the coroner in Schuylkill County. He made these inquests happen in a way, it all came together with allowing me to utilize his forum. In order to use the courthouse, you have to worry about security, you have to worry about overtime. Using Doc's place, it was easy. So the 6 individuals reported. All of the witnesses that I needed to question were subpoenaed, just as in a civil or a criminal case. I put them on the witness stand. We swore them in. They testified. The 6 jurors took notes. They, at the conclusion of the case, they deliberated, and they were to determine what the cause of death was. If the cause of death was accidental or if it was at the hand of another.
Schuylkill County's most wanted. How did this come about, and what was the success of this?
I was at a chamber mixer. Representatives from the Putts Republican, Mike Joyce, approached me, and he said, I have an idea for you. You're either going to really hate it or really love it. And I was immediately sold. I said, Mike, I love it. I want in. Tell me what I have to do to make this work. So he asked me if we had outstanding warrants, and I said, yes, we are not without outstanding warrants. In fact, currently, I think we probably have 500 plus. So the way we started was I had asked Detective Dennis Clark, who handles all of our bench warrants and does a phenomenal job, if he would pull out the bench warrants for the felony crimes, the highest crimes that we have. And we put those as the 10 most wanted. We then put 40 additional in. We separated those into some drug crimes, some violent, non-violent. And the response that the Putts Republican got was unbelievable. They worked with Dennis, and when someone was captured, they then published that. So periodically, it might have been 2 weeks, and in 2-week increments, they would publish who was captured.
Isn't it gratifying, folks, to see that people who are running for office make promises and they actually keep them, okay? And of course, on the set now is District Attorney Christine Holman. So I want to congratulate you, Christine, on being the person that you said you were going to be as District Attorney, and we just saw some of the accomplishments that you made. The slogan is, Christine Holman has kept her promises. When we're talking about the District Attorney's office, nowadays, very important office throughout any state, okay?
Yes.
I know it's Luzerne County, Stephanie has her hands full, and just there's a lot of things happening. So people hear about different things that you do. For example, you conducted, drug raids over 3 years, resulting in 200 arrests. Okay, so when you have these drug raids, okay, does it put a dent in the distribution or the illegal selling of drugs? Or does someone pop up again when these people are going to jail?
Well, let me say first, Sam, that it is my privilege to serve Schuylkill County. And all of the promises that I made and kept, I feel that that was just doing my job. Relative to the drug problem in Schuylkill County, and unfortunately all over the state of Pennsylvania, when you make a drug bust, you do put a dent in someone's source. and in someone's flow. You hit some people's pockets because the drug dealers perhaps are caught with monies that they have profited from or have collected in these sales. Those monies are forfeited to the county. It doesn't mean that they're just turned over. The district attorney's office has to file a petition in order to have those monies available for use. But that is one of the biggest accomplishments that a district attorney's office can make with law enforcement, is turning those bad dollars into good dollars. And getting back to your question, though, as far as the 9 drug raids that I've had, and incidentally, since that time, we've had one more in Frackville just recently in April, and we're averaging about 3 or 4 a year, so I'm hoping that that will continue. However, putting a dent into this, I would say yes. It sends a message to not just that group of individuals, but they have friends, they have associates in other areas. They will let them know, look, Schuylkill County is not a place to bring your drugs. They have great law enforcement, and they're into ridding the community of the drug problem.
You helped establish the Schuylkill County Drug Court.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me what does this court do?
The drug court is actually a drug treatment court, and many counties have already implemented this process. What the drug treatment court is really a second chance for someone who the team has characterized as high risk, high need. What that means is the individual who has committed a crime or maybe several crimes, if those crimes are drug related, we're looking for individuals that have been using illegal drugs, not so much in selling those illegal drugs, but have an addiction that they can't beat. We have felt it very prudent and advantageous to attempt to rehabilitate these people by giving them that second chance, allowing them to go through a 5-phase program. The Schuylkill County Drug Treatment Court, they must complete at least 14 months of treatment, and that treatment could consist of perhaps going to a long-term inpatient facility, maybe a short-term. Upon release from that facility, they must follow very strict rules. They're going to be held accountable by the drug court team on a weekly basis. They report to court. They will inform the team members as to what is going on in their life, the everyday do's and goings on. We want to know. We want to know, do they have a job? We want to know how they're doing in their family life. We want to know if they're keeping up with AA or NA. We want to know, are they paying off costs and fines? Do they have driver's license? What are they doing to better themselves? The benefit and the carrot at the end of this, Sam, is if you have been entered successfully into the drug treatment court program and you complete it, you may then have your charges dismissed and perhaps expunged if you meet all the criteria that we have developed.
And I think this is a great program because these people need treatment, and but the individual stories, when you have these people, do they tell you specifically how they got started? I mean, when you're talking to individual people, so because that's part of the educational program that you bring either into grade schools. Unfortunately, you got to get into 3rd, 4th, 5th grade,
yes,
because it's so sick today. But so now you have a series of saying, now here's Miss such and such, and so she tells her story. What are some of the common things were the gateways, getting into these drugs?
The most common story that I hear, and unfortunately it's from some younger people, I'd say, in their between 18 and age 25, they were involved in some sort of incident or accident wherein they had been prescribed some pain pills. Unfortunately, they became addicted to these pain pills. They didn't warrant a refill from their physician, or that refill was too expensive if they didn't have insurance. So they turned to the street drug, the more powerful drug, and the cheaper drug of heroin. And from what I understand, you can become hooked on heroin one time.
Yeah.
And it becomes a very dangerous lifestyle.
So the main focus would be to rehabilitate as many you can, which I think is critical. But the other thing is the pusher, the person who's selling them. Okay. Some cases you have these sellers don't even use drugs themselves; they just sell them. Okay. Where is the law enforcement here? What is the punishment they're getting?
That punishment would be the most severe punishment, Sam, if it's warranted. If there's individuals selling drugs for a business, and that is their sole business, they're typically charged with delivery, possession with intent to deliver, and the grading of those particular crimes depends on the weight and what type of drug. Realistically, though, to me it doesn't matter. Any of these dealers should be put behind bars and stay behind bars until they have turned a corner in some manner, until they've become rehabilitated, where they've acquired a sense of, I need another skill to make money when I'm released from prison. And I don't know how they can guarantee that, nor I don't know how corrections can guarantee that, but that's where it should be.
Okay, so now some people feel that, when these people are arrested, and some of them have a lot of arrogance, they're right, smiling at the cameras, and
Right.
they're proud that they got arrested or whatever. You hear, well, they're going to get a smart lawyer or pay a good lawyer. He'll be out in no time. Okay, is that true?
No, we hear that all the time,
yeah.
and I take that with a grain of salt. Myself, my staff, and I'm sure other district attorneys and their staff, I turn really a deaf ear to that. We look at the evidence that we have. We use, law enforcement is very invested and proud of the arrests that they've made, and we work to the end to have these individuals convicted. It's not something that we take lightly.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because I just want to clear that record. It's not a matter of, even though they sound like they look like they're proud of destroying kids' lives. I have no idea. I'm just sad. Schuylkill County, as you know, has a huge elderly market. Okay, people living who are elderly, and unfortunately, the elderly people, the seniors that we have today, grew up in a family atmosphere, a God-fearing atmosphere. They help people. I think our area has the biggest hearts, and unfortunately, because they're so kind, seniors, they're taking advantage of. Okay, and so I know that you have done. You fought elder abuse. Where are we going with elder abuse?
Right now, Sam, I'm continuing on the same path that I had been on from the beginning. I'm making my way around Schuylkill County to any senior center that wishes to hear a presentation on scams and solutions or some other programs that I have. The scams and solutions I've actually updated. I have a program where it's update 2017. I want seniors to be aware, and every citizen in Schuylkill County and elsewhere, there are 3 relatively new scams out there. The first most prevalent being, can you hear me now? Or can you hear me? Where they're calling individuals at random and they want you to say, yes, you can hear them. So with that, yes, your voice is recorded and they're able to find out different information about you, personal information, where they can perhaps hack into some of your accounts. So please avoid answering yes or even saying anything if someone would call you with just a blind question. The other very popular scam these days, and it involves Walmart, and unfortunately, I mean, Walmart's a great superstore, but individuals are contacting elders masquerading as a hurt grandchild or someone that they know and love that is close to them, someone that is in trouble. So someone would be on the other end of the phone posing as either a paralegal for a law firm, maybe a lawyer, telling them that their loved one is incarcerated and needs some bail money or needs some type of financial help. They're instructing them to go to their local Walmart and purchase a gift card, maybe in an increment of $1,000. And then they are directed to send it to wherever the loved one is being incarcerated. And I'm very proud to say that locally in Schuylkill County, members of the Tamaqua and Rush Township Police Departments, Officer Olt and I know Officer Hess were involved at the hometown Walmart, where they were instrumental in apprehending an individual who was collecting these gift cards. And this individual had multiple identifications. I can't say too much else because that case is pending, but that individual was apprehended, and we hope to get to the bottom of it with the help of Rush, Tamaqua, any other local police department, and possibly even the Attorney General's office.
Yeah, unfortunately, you have people that are, like I said, they're honest people. They would never think that someone would be doing something bad to them. But that's the same thing with a lot of seniors are using the computers, and there's a lot of scam coming through the computers as well.
Yes, and there's one more, the mystery, we call it mystery shopping scam. You will be sent a check, a large check, maybe $4,000 or $5,000 and some odd dollars, and you will be asked if you want to be a professional shopper, if you want to go out and purchase certain things and then send it off. But what you're not being told is once you deposit that check will go nowhere, and then you're going to wind up paying out on those funds.
Wow. So go back 4 years, okay? It's like President Trump. When he ran, he said, I want to do this, this, and this, and this. And, similar to what you did, promises made, promises kept. However, when you get into the situation, you see things a little bit differently, okay? Not that there's major changes, but the point is, when you're there, it's like dating, and then you get married. It's, well, I didn't know it was this. And so what did you see before you ran, okay? But when you got in the office, did you see anything that was different than what you wanted to do, or that you had to change, or, that you had to move into different areas?
Well, let me say this, Sam. One of my promises was to help eradicate the blight in Schuylkill County. And when I ran 4 years ago, I spent a lot of time in different neighborhoods knocking on doors and talking to people. I'm doing the same thing now. And I find that the blight is even more prevalent than I thought. If I am elected and continue in my job, which I love, I hope to ramp up the efforts to eradicate blight even further. I think law enforcement and our boroughs and townships need to hold people even more accountable. We need to act sooner than later to have these dilapidated buildings taken down, owners doing it, rather than having things spilling into the street. And I still believe that the blight is attracting the drug crime, the theft crimes, the burglary, you name it.
What has been done so far? Because I know you've had active participants getting rid of the blight. So what have been things that you've already accomplished?
Sure. I had formed a code officers association, and I have been working closely with code enforcement officers all over the county in providing advice, providing education. I have seminars periodically. I'm hoping to have one coming up soon. I'm going to call it maybe Spring Cleanup for 17. And I can simply be encouraging to the code enforcement officers and the law enforcement that they work with that even though it's an arduous and slow process to have a building taken down or to have someone really held accountable, we just have to go through the process, but start the process again sooner than later so that the results come sooner than later.
Okay, so you had 4 years, and you're going on 4 years in November, would be the general election. We have the primary. So what do you see that you want to accomplish now in the next 4 years, if you're reelected?
In the next 4 years, I will continue caring about Schuylkill County. I will continue working hard every day for the citizens of Schuylkill County to rid the county of those nasty drug dealers. I can't say I have an answer to the drug problem, and I won't, but I will work tirelessly to get those drugs out of Schuylkill County, continue to work with the drug treatment court, continue to try and counsel those individuals that have the addiction, give them encouragement to become upstanding citizens rather than criminals. I will continue fighting to eradicate blight. I will continue utilizing the laws of the Commonwealth to do so. The most wanted that I had paired with the Schuylkill County, the Republican Herald. We have another issue that will be coming out in late September, early October. And we continue our efforts to apprehend fugitives in Schuylkill County by posting photographs of these individuals on the most wanted board that appears in the Schuylkill County Courthouse. We typically feature a fugitive of the week in the Republican Herald, and we ask and are constantly asking the public's help to bring in the most wanted.
Well, the Schuylkill County Chamber of Commerce named you Businesswoman of the Year, recognizing the many accomplishments that you achieved. I thought that was a pretty nice honor.
That was one of the proudest moments of my career.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned to many, I wasn't doing anything different other than my job. So I was very touched to be honored by that award.
I've said this many times on the show, and you know, just because I think you're a nice person doesn't mean I'm voting for you because you're a nice person. I want to vote for a person who is going to be able to deliver, qualify. It's like getting a doctor. You know, you just say, well, my brother knows this doctor, he's a good friend, and the big family, and so we'll get this doctor to operate in my heart. No. What you do is you make sure you know who the doctor is, what he has accomplished or she has accomplished. And I think people should look at politics. Now, if it happens to be a friend of yours and is qualified, it's even better, okay? So in your case, you know, you promised what you were going to do, and you kept your promises. I don't know what else anyone else would look for in politicians. So I think it's very gratifying that you did that, Christine, and I wish you the best, as well as I wish anyone who's running for office the best. Folks, you can watch all of our shows now, you know, on, of course, ssptv.com. But now, download our app. It's very easy. Go to Google search or go to your app store and search SSP TV, and every show that we've done, including the show we're doing right now, is on here. So if you don't get a chance to watch it on Comcast 190 in Pottsville, or Channel 13 and 513 is in the greater Hazleton area, you certainly could download the app and watch all the shows. Well, I want to wish you the best of success, okay?
Thank you, Sam.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Christine Holman, folks, the District Attorney of Schuylkill County, looking to be reelected this year. We'll see you next time.